Hello everyone, it's NotaNoobPat and welcome to Perk Review. Today we're taking a look at the level 35 Kate Denson perk, Windows of Opportunity. This perk will display the auras of pallets, breakable walls, and vaults within a 20-meter range. This perk also has a cooldown where the auras will disappear for 20 seconds if you drop a pallet or vault during a chase. The pros for this perk is that it allows you to see the auras of pallets while you are in a chase. This can help you easily get to a pallet and create a distance between you and the killer or get an easy stun. And on the flip side, it is also equally helpful to know if a pallet has already been dropped or if there are no pallets in your area. This is a good information perk. The other minor thing this perk can be helpful for is finding vaults if you are also using the perk live, as I will display in one of my video examples. The cons are that this perk can be very overstimulating at times. I show this at the end of the video. But some maps have so many vaults and breakable walls close together that it can be extremely annoying. Then, this perk can be replaced at least partially by game knowledge. After you play this game for a while, you generally know where vaults and pallets spawn at. Let's get into our video demonstration. Let's take a look at the aura reading ability of this perk. I'll go from left to right. With this perk you can see the breakable walls on the left, the vault in the middle, and then the pallet on the right. And you will be able to see both pallets that are still up and ones that have been dropped. Then, you can see the killer breaks the wall and I can still see the pallet that is now down. Then, let's take a look at the range of the perk where I step into the 20-meter range. This perk does have a cooldown as I've mentioned before. If you are in a chase and vault or throw down a pallet, the auras will be deactivated for 20 seconds. I'll show you where I throw the pallet down. Then I'll use the same pallet as a vault and the perk will cool down both times. Let's take a look at the perk window where the perk icon displays the cooldown that rotates counterclockwise for the 20 seconds. You will see at the end of the cooldown, the auras of the pallets, doors, and vaults will reappear. Let's get into our video examples. In this first game, I am pairing Windows of Opportunity with Live. It is helpful to know where the nearest vaults are at to activate live. Here, I have located this vault and I'm going to dance around it before hitting my live. Since I wasn't technically in a chase yet, my Windows of Opportunity does not need a cooldown. I immediately use my live boost to try to lose the killer, but just in case, I find a pallet with this perk and sit on it so I can stun the killer if they come for me. And again, I'm using this perk to find vaults for my live, which I use here. Then, I want to spotlight the cooldown, which is very short. The 20 seconds is short enough here for me to use Windows of Opportunity twice in the same chase. Once for a vault, and once to find a pallet and extend this chase even longer. Finally, the spirit is in hot pursuit of me. All of the generators are done, and I'm worried about being put on my death hook. Since it is the end of the game, I am frantically looking for a pallet aura to pop up since many of them have already been used and broken by the killer. I'm going to end up getting the pallet stun here, and you'll see that I just barely escape. Finding the pallet with this perk and stunning the killer was the difference between escaping or being hooked in this example. Then, I have a quick example. You can see that I am looking side to side to analyze the scene. I am trying to find a good vault or if there is a pallet near me. I get just a glimpse of one upstairs, and I'm going to take a hit and use the speed boost to get to this pallet and smack it in the killer's face. Then I have a huge example with this perk. I use Windows of Opportunity quite a bit in this video example, and I want you to see how I use it. The doctor is coming for me, but I'm calm. I know there are pallets around, and I am scouting all of them out, trying to see where all the vaults and pallets are at, as I'm going to be running around this general area for a while, or so I plan. So I get this pallet stun in on the doctor, but since I've been scouting all the pallet spots with this perk, even though the perk is cooling down, I still know where these pallets are at because I memorized them. Then, before you know it, the cooldown period is over and I can move to a different area and begin scouting pallets again. While I do see these pallets, I eventually think that I have enough time to get to the vault over here and loot the basement of this house. Let's hear what happens.
Oh, it's Terry.
You can hear that I guessed right as the killer whiffs and I run into the basement where I've already seen the pallet spawn due to this perk. Boom, I'm going to get another stun and this chase is still going on. Again, the cooldown is not an issue and I get my aura reading back still in the same chase yet again. Now we're going to go super fast mode, and I want you to note something. There are only going to be 2 generators left. I've survived this chase for 3 entire gens, and I'm going to get a grand finale. I go upstairs in this house, see the vaults, but I also see this pallet, and you know what's going to happen. I'm going to get the stun, and one of my teammates finally takes aggro for me. Again, I could have been able to loop this killer for a while even without this perk, but it certainly helped me to know where all the pallet spawns were at, and it certainly extended the chase. To finish it all up, I wanted to show you what I meant by visually overstimulating and see if you agree. Let's take a look at the saloon where there is a mix between breakable doors, vaults, and pallets. Again, sometimes there is a bit too much information to evaluate everything and it's quite distracting. Now we're at the recently patched Badham Preschool, and I'm going to go on a generator next to one of the buildings, and again, a bit too many auras on my screen at one time. This isn't a huge con, but it is distracting nonetheless, and it's going to get worse with times as all the maps are patched. Let's give this perk a grade. Windows of Opportunity is a 3.5 out of 10. I will say that I enjoy using this perk overall, and I did think it was helpful. Well then, you're probably asking, why am I giving it a 3.5? I've played the game for a while now. I typically know where the vaults and the pallet spawns are. The only thing this perk can do for me is tell me whether or not the pallets are used in those areas or not. While this may be quite helpful for some players, I don't typically want to use a perk slot on that ability. This perk just has a very small niche, and I'll explain why. Windows of Opportunity would be best for new players so they can learn all the vault and pallet spawns on each map. However, new players should probably not use one of their 4 perk slots on this perk when they really need to be using crutch perks. I recommend crutch perks so that new players can still try to enjoy the game at the start when they're matched up against killers that are a way better rank than them, which is quite common in DBD matchmaking. Then, as I said before, most veteran players don't need this perk because they've learned all the spawns. So, new players should use better perks that will help them be able to survive. Veteran players outgrow this perk, so even though Windows of Opportunity may be a decent information perk that is helpful to use, it's hard to say that it deserves a spot in the 4 perks you get to use each game. Maybe you could use it with Live to know where the vault spots are at. Maybe you have a challenge to drop so many pallets in a chase, or get 3 pallet stuns in one game so you use this perk. Maybe a new map comes out or one is patched so you want to learn all the vault and pallet spawns. I think there are situations where you could find value in Windows of Opportunity, but overall, it's generally not your best choice. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave it a like. If you want to check out more perk review, make sure to look for the links in the description and visit my channel to subscribe. I also stream twice a week on Twitch if you want to stop by. Take it easy.